Hey everyone, and welcome to Open. I'm Rhina your hosting Café con Leche for the next hour, inviting you to get social with us online. That is, tweet us and follow us on Instagram. And of course, like us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. And of course, don't forget, follow me while you're there on Twitter, FB, Instagram, Insta Stories, and LinkedIn at Rhina Valentin. So happy New Year's, mi gente. Welcome to 2023 as we begin this new chapter of life, whether it's in a new career, going back to school, or even starting a family. I think it's important that we keep ourselves and needs in mind. And so our first guest is a life coach dedicated to teaching self-care through time management as a primary practice. And we're going to have her come on and share a little bit more. Please welcome life management coaching founder, Leslie Limardo. Hello and welcome.
Hello, everyone. Well, thank you for having me.
Well, we are very excited to have this conversation. Oh my gosh. So let's talk about how you even got to this place of becoming a life management coach.
Mm-hmm. So I worked in higher education for over 24 years. And I, like everyone else, I'm a first generation Latina, went to school, got my education, was doing all the things, finally reached the point in my career where I finally got what I wanted and I hated it. I'm a single mom. I had the responsibility of being at home. I also was a PTA mom and was doing all the things. And I hated the life that I built. It was exhausting. I finally got to that pinnacle and decided this is not what I wanted. So then I started self-coaching and I started asking myself the questions, well, what do you want and where do you want to go? And slowly but surely, I started getting rid of things. I got rid of the PTA. I said no. I then left my career. After 24 years, I left my career in higher education and I downgraded and I started really simplifying my life.
Can we just tell everybody what your career was?
I was a dean. I was a dean. I was a dean at Columbia University.
I was a dean. Like a real 360 there,
Oh yeah. No, I was a dean at Columbia University. I was the director of operations when I left. I mean, I was in a high level position, very proud of everything that I've done. And I have my master's from Teachers College, Columbia University as well. And so I wanted this. I was passionate about this. This is really what I set my mind to. And when I got there, I just hated it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is not the life. I was looking around like, I can't believe I built this life and I don't like it. And so I had to slowly sort of deconstruct that life to really begin rebuilding the life that I wanted for this new season in my life.
All right, but before you move any further, I just want to just present some clarity on what it is about it that you didn't like so that they understand it has nothing to do with the job. It had to do with yourself.
It was myself and I was overwhelmed. I had been there for over that particular job. I was there for 16 years and had built this big career for myself and it was becoming too much. There was a shift in personnel and a shift in my job responsibilities. And it was no longer feeding me the way it did before. I no longer had that joy. And it wasn't the job itself. It was a shift in me that it was like, this is too much. I wasn't spending time with my daughter. I felt that motherhood was a burden. And I started seeing motherhood. And there's tough parts of motherhood. But when you start seeing it as a burden, there was a problem. And I knew at that point that there has to be some shift because my daughter's a gift. And so there.
And how old is your daughter now, if you don't mind me asking?
She's 15 now. She's 15.
15.
She's 15. And so at that point, she was still younger. And I knew that was something wrong with me. That it wasn't the job. It wasn't the responsibilities of motherhood. There was something wrong with me. And so I had to begin self-coaching and start asking myself those important, deep questions to be able to get to this point where I said, you know what, this is really what I want to do. I love mentoring and coaching women.
So how long have you been doing this now?
I have been doing it now for about 5 years.
For about 5 years now. How did you come to choosing this particular practice of focus, right? I would say focus, right? So because it seems like everything, life coaching sounds broad, but you seem to have your own niche going on there.
Yes, I do. And part of it was because when I worked at the university, I worked specifically with adult students. And I met with them to help them figure out their schedules. And I met with them to really discover, academic skills, academic study skills, including time management. And I would meet with them one-on-one. And these are adults. These are adults returning back to an Ivy League university. And they had busy lives. They were moms, dads, they were full-time workers. And they were coming to me for time management. But in reality, when I sat down with them, I was like, wait a minute, I'm helping you plan your life. Like, what we're talking about is that we're managing your life. I'm not really managing your time. And so I came up with my own system of doing it and became one of the very popular deans. I became known as the dean who got things done because of just my ability to do things and to help the students. And I realized when I left that when I meet with someone, and if I can figure out how you spend your time, I can see the holes and where your boundaries need to be placed, or where you're people pleasing, or where there's some invisible mindsets that you're allowing to happen. So that's the framework. But if I can see your time and how you spend it, I can see where your problems are.
Yeah, I like that concept also of boundaries, right? That's one
Mhm.
of your specialties, right? Let's talk a
Yes.
little bit about the boundaries, because I know that your areas of expertise are boundaries, personal development, leadership development, mindset coaching, strategy and execution, people pleasing. We all know
Mhm.
that one.
Yes.
And imposter syndrome. That's another
Yes.
one.
Yes. Yes. So with boundaries, one of the things that I had to learn to set for myself, I had to put boundaries with me, because being
For
a first
yourself.
generation, for myself, being a first generation Latino in this country, I felt the need to become everybody's savior and to help everyone, whether they asked me or not. I was helping. If I saw a problem, I helped you. I'm a natural problem solver. But what happened was that I was helping people, to the point where they weren't even helping themselves anymore, because I kept jumping in. And when you're jumping in and constantly helping other people, you're no longer even thinking about yourself.
And you're
Your
enabling them.
lens.
And you're also enabling them.
Exactly, exactly. And people then stop thinking for themselves, because they can always go to you and just download the entire book that they need, right from you. And so I realized that I had to change, and I had to start putting boundaries. When I heard problems, my initial reaction was to help, but then I was, no, mind your business. No, that's not your problem to solve. If they need help, they will ask. And so I had to start putting boundaries on myself, put boundaries around my time, put boundaries around what was important to me, and really learn how to say no. And then I also had to learn how to set boundaries with others, because takers, people who ask for things, have no boundaries, and they don't care. They will ask and ask and ask and ask. And I had to develop the practice of saying no and no and no and no. And
That's
so
a big word.
it's both
That's a
things.
big word, by the way. That's
It
a
was.
big word for
It's a
somebody
huge
who's a
word.
giver.
Right. For somebody who's a giver, for someone who just is my natural inclination is to help, and I want to help you. But I had to learn how to just say, no, you know what? You can actually do that on your own. You know what? I think that somebody else can help you with that. I'm not the only person, right? Because people make you think like you're the only one that can help me solve this problem. And we're not. We're not. So.
And so what you've done is you found a way to guide people into applying
Right.
it to themselves, which is
Exactly.
spectacular.
Exactly.
So I understand you have a program that is going to initiate in the middle of January that is geared towards let 2023 be the year of you. So
Yes.
let's share a little bit about what that entails.
Right. So one of the things that I discovered in coaching women was that women know what they want. One of the things that keeps them back is fear. There's a lot of fear, or they're not necessarily clear about what they want. So for example, many women at this time want to lose weight, but by February, they've already stopped going to the gym. They've already stopped doing that goal. And part of it is because the clarity is not there. They don't really want to lose weight, because who wants to stop eating these delicious things that they're doing, right? But if there is a goal, a bigger one, like I want to go to Disney World with my kids, and I want to be able to walk around without huffing and puffing, that may be the actual goal. And the weight loss is just part of that, right? And so if I understand clearly what I want, and to be able to say it out loud without any fear, right? And to really acknowledge and take ownership of that, then I can create, I can simplify my life, and then I can create the action plan to get it done. But the first thing is we have to understand and be clear, because a lot of times what we want is based on what our families want, what our families' expectations are, what the world thinks that we should have. And it's not necessarily from me and from myself. And so I work with women, one, to get clear, crystal clear on what they want. I then work with them to simplify their lives, and I teach them my time management system, or life management, as I like to call it, because that's really what we're managing. You're not managing time, you're managing your life, and you're managing your experiences. And so I teach them skills, right? Teach them practical skills that they need. And then we create a plan. We create an action plan, and we talk about these, invisible mindsets that women don't tend to see, like the people pleasing, the imposter syndrome. I could never do that. Yes, you can. You just need a plan, and you just need clarity. But things are possible to do. And so in the 6-week program, I took my personal coaching. My coaching is 4 months. So I took it and sort of condensed it to give women a simplified version to really get their year started right.
And so what I really appreciate about what you're saying and the language you're using is that you coach life management. So can you just can you elaborate further on how you identify life management being the overall coaching style versus time management, even though time management is the area that you're focused on?
Right. So people think of time management, and when they think of the problems that they have, they tend to think, I need more time. I just need more time to get things done. I need more time in my day. I need more time. But time exists. We don't manage time, right? Time is just 24 hours in the day, and that's what we have. What we are managing are our lives and the different aspects of our lives, which includes the day-to-day things that we do, day-to-day operations, but it also includes, the majority of it is the emotional side, right? When people think, procrastination is one of the biggest things, or the biggest deterrents to getting things done. But procrastination is a stress management tool. It helps people manage their emotions. So you're managing your emotions around a specific task. So it's not that you need more time to do it. You need to learn how to manage your emotions. And so when I talk to people about what they're doing and how they're managing their time, I'm really looking at their lives and how they're managing it. And sometimes women tend to do way too much with a short amount of time that they have. And we're unrealistic about how much time, we have, but how much we can actually get done in a short amount of time. Right. Like if you're like, oh, I'm going to organize all my closets, and you have 10 closets and you think you're going to do it over 2 weekends, like that's unrealistic.
Right.
More realistic is it may take 6 months, but people don't want to hear that. They're like, no, I want to do it all today. It's not happening. It's just not happening. And we are just unrealistic. And so that's what I focus on, is really how are you managing your entire life, which includes your day-to-day operational things, which includes your job, but most importantly, your emotions, because that's really what keeps us from doing things.
I love it. And thank you so much for bringing it here to our viewers, because really, at the end of the day, it's about the way you think.
It's all about the way you think. All of it starts with how you think.
Well, we appreciate you sharing some of this with our viewers and you guys. She's offering a 6 weeks course. Once again, this is Leslie Limardo, life management coaching founder. If you're interested in her course, you can visit leslielimardo.com. And we have to take a quick break, but when we return, we're going to speak to swim coach teaching seasonal habits all year round. Don't go anywhere.